use that. We want to photo this for his engineering class.
In engineering, we talked about different manufacturing processes: forming, cutting, separating. What were the other ones? Treating. Oh, extrusion, of course. Never forget that one. Now, forming, as we learned, is using force to shape something into the shape that you want. The something here is the dough, and Mr. Tan Sr. is forming the dough into a shape that will be used for making Chinese dumplings. So, Mr. Tan, how long have you been doing this?
For years. I started doing it at home when I was maybe participating in a home project when I was a teenager. So I add the flour so they will not stick together.
That's treating, chemical treatment, in a sense.
So press on this end. You see just now I cut this and these are nice perpendicular. So that I press it down, it's round, it's easier to form a round shape.
Did you just say perpendicular?
Yeah, look at this shape is an oval. An ellipse here is here, the axis, and this axis here. So this axis and this axis is perpendicular.
Sounds like we've got a math teacher on our hands, class.
Yeah, I'm a math teacher here.
So moving on to this station, what are we doing here?
We're wrapping the filling.
Can you explain a bit about why we choose this sort of crescent shape?
Because it looks like gold nuggets.
Gold nuggets. So
Yeah.
this is how this is sort of in the imitation of the gold that traditional Chinese would use for their transactions. You know, basically, if you make your food look like money, you're probably going to be rich. At least that's the hope. And personally, I don't mind the taste either.
This is an ancient Chinese money called Yuan Bao. It started in the Song Dynasty.
So what's happening over here?
Well, we're cooking the dumpling and making sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. So you are stirring the pot with hot water, and you wait till the dumpling floats up. When it floats up, you add a cup of cold water into it, and then you stir it again. When the second time the dumpling floats up, That means the dough is cooked and the meat inside is cooked. And you're ready to cut. So, in order to stop it from sticking, you need to stir the pot once in a while. See, it's starting to float, and the dumpling seems to be expanded. So it's indication that the dough probably is getting near cooked when it floats.
And when it's floating and poofy, that means it's ready to eat.
That means you can do a second
Oh,
round.
okay. So this is the first round.
You can see the water bubbling. So when the water bubbles, I put in the cut cooked. You can cook it longer. But if it's store-made, usually the dough is very thin. If you overcooked it, it will split open.
So homemade dough is better for cooking.
Yes. And it's more chewy because it's homemade dough. Tastes a lot nicer. See the color? It's not as dull as that. It has actually a sheen on it. See, it's floating up already.
So what we're seeing here, class, is that boiling the dumplings in the water is not only cooking the meat, which is what we would call treating, but it's also putting that nice glossy finish on the outside, which when you're dealing with the surface of a material, that's called finishing. Of course, my version of finishing would be adding a bit of soy sauce and sesame oil and some green onions. Then that's ready to eat.